me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes again. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash their lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need come close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking and beating. So me plea are repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and down on their knees. And I'm begging, now we and I did one week. Prophesy to the country, streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing, now this is my humble petition. Another day for election, go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That a few might stuff the pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation. Go. To safeguard our image. Before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas and down on the knees. And I'm begging, go now. They try to stick me with Rashmi. They are more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. That's why I'm singing. Please, Mrs. Pamela. Take Munila and Sharma. Go now, please. Them and their minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick. Swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat-eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni. Sweet man Glenn and Sharma came face to face with the karma. And it was awful, but true with two pull. Don't need a big man to tell them go. Watch her and see they just follow now. Before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire now. Before the 5 years expire. Like a dog with fleas and down on their knees. And I'm pleading go now. Before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm pleading go now. Immediately. And don't forget your AG go now, please. Love to quarrel, always oral, highly immoral. They let the good doctor starve to death. Used to court him, once support him, no road to point for him. But once in power, they quickly forget. They love confrontation, so no investigation. The case by the Privy Council, but the warriors they settle. You see, you could make a fortune, filling up a lagoon. The environment is boost out its people too. Is why I want them go. With them old lies they peddling now. It's only PR they selling. They wouldn't tell me the whole truth. The man just wanted a root. Before they carve out a mountain. Before the cost we start counting like a dog with fleas, a dog on their knees. And I beg it, go now. Always get the contract. Who profit from the kickback? Streams turn into rivers, then into sea. Is why I'm singing. Go now. Tell Munila and Surush. It's best they seek refuge. Go now.
Tell us for an Andy and Laku. Go now, please. Independent talk for Sunday, the 15th of October 2023. Igwe and Devon. Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is the People's Parliament, and I'm the People's Spokesman alongside Devon and Igwe today. We are blessed and protected by the Ancient of Days. And I always say, Igwe, my purpose here is to give the facts. What the listeners do with the facts is a matter entirely for them. We always say here, where shame is absent, anything could happen. We wouldn't keep silence on issues that affects the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The intention today is to make those people who are comfortable with what this government is doing to become very uncomfortable. And to those who are uncomfortable, we're here to offer hope and to make them comfortable. Traversing the country, Igwe, the people hope is the new national party, because they're telling you, if the new national party was here, these things couldn't happen. The problem in this country, Igwe, as I see it, is not so much the outspoken of the ignorant majority like people like us, you know, but Igwe, the silence of the critical thinkers and the intelligent, the intelligentsia minority. Example is the church, the clergy. You don't hear in them. And they know what's going on with the people. So, there's one first thing I must inform the nation. Me scared of tongue, Devon. And you go ask me, well, Masakal, why you scared of tongue? Because I'm scared of what this present administration is doing to the people and what it is causing the people to do to one another. So listen this. Devon. So I ask the question, what is going on to us here in Grenada? And I see, ask them job in cabinet and parliament for me, Devon. You go see where I'm going with that, you know. Security and stability go hands in hand, Devon. But when we start to have report of kidnapping, Devon, in the town, Young Street, and then you hear people asking for ransom for the person who is kidnapped. All because of this government, the condition they bring into bear on the people. I want them to call here and dispute that, Devon, and see that what happen. Because they like to see how we doesn't see why it's true. So tell Floyd and them for me. Call here and say that is not true. And at the same time, I want to address the crime boss, Mr. Vani. Because when they ask you what around, you say you didn't know. So we want to know if you know about the kidnapping on Young Street. We want to know if you know if the complainant sustained any bodily injuries. We want to know if a ransom was asked for. And we want to know if yes, how much was the ransom. We want to know if the complainant was taken to any medical doctor. We want to know what is the latest. Joseph Andal, when Andy was acting Prime Minister, he said he didn't know about the dispute in Mongay. He said he just passing around and he just happened to see it. Joseph Andal, because you speak about the fire in Progress Park, and we go talk about the fire today. You speak about the fire in Progress Park, but I don't hear you say nothing about the report of kidnapping. Joseph, you don't know too. Joseph Andal, they don't give you the information of the report of kidnapping all along by True Light and Mount Parnassus, and they don't tell you all that. All you bring in the country in such a way, and all you don't want us to say nothing. But all you do in Gala, and we have, they call out the delegation up there, you know. Sometime in the program, we go ask who pay for this man to go up there, Glen Noel, and then we go ask who pay for them to go in the Gala in Florida, you know. Because Andy say what? The host does pay. We will get to all of that too, because we have a lot of things to unpack there. But the immediate thing, the place getting grimy. Man kidnapped on, what is the street by Coates? Young Street. I don't say it's breaking news because I'm not no newsbreaker, and I don't do here for likes. I just do here to give the information, let the chips fall where they made Devon. So Devon, the information out is that a young man was kidnapped on Young Street. And all kind of shenanigans happen until he end up in Mount Parnassus, I don't know. So I want to know if they bring that man by the doctor. I want to know if he sustained any injuries. I want to know if it was a ransom called for his release. I want to know if the ransom was paid. And we want to know how much the ransom was. And we want to know if Vanny Cohen know for him to brief Joseph Andal. Because based on what Andy said last week, like he don't get in them kind of briefing. Because if he could watch in the camera and lie to the nation and say, watch, I don't know about that. Joseph Andal, I want to know if you know about that, because you know about the fire, so that means they're telling you something. We want to know, Joseph Andal, if you know about the report of kidnapping. We want to know if there is any suspect in custody. We want to know what charges is likely to be preferred. We want to know when the press conference will be held in relation to the fire and the kidnapping. So these are some questions. So who listening? Because we know I was listening, you know. Philip, tell us what am I listening to?
Yeah, he's supposed to be home right now.
Because Philip, are disappointing you. This kind of thing you're going talking on radio, on GBN and them. You don't make it look good, Philip. Philip, you stop going down. When you don't have nothing to say, you must just speak. Because what you're saying making you look ordinary. You're a fella are getting to like. But then all of a sudden you just sting. So Philip, find out, because it seems like you're on the PM close, because you say you have certain thing on the housing, you didn't discuss with the cabinet, you just talk to the PM about it. So that means you have the PM airs. That's why I addressing you. Because when you have matters, what I feel you could help addressing you. Just like when you have matters, I feel Lennox Andrew and Dennis Matthew Cornwall could help in others address them. So addressing you. Mr. Telesford, what is going on? Mr. Telesford, are you a jab too, because he was preaching? He's a man of the cloth, he was beyond the pulpit. So the Prime Minister say, jab in cabinet, jab in parliament, and I never hear you say, well, it's not a jab. So jab preaching the gospel now, the devil preaching the gospel, that kind of strange thing. But that is beside the point. So this kidnapping thing, we can remember, Grenada has become a copycat society. One person hang themselves out, two others do it. One person kills somebody, then you have about 16, 17 people killing people. So it's a kind of copycat thing. So one kidnapping now, we have to nip it in the bud. Because you don't want to hear men just start to kidnap people. And we come like Trinidad, but Mr. Tell us what you feeling now. George Chambers inherit the governance of Trinidad after Dr. Eric Williams, and the military treasury full, just like how all the military treasury full. They do all kind of thing with the money, and then this trooping is start down there. So we see that movie already. So the set of murders start to rise, we see that here. And then kidnapping, and we see it here now. So I'm concerned. Devon, I'm concerned. Because if in the tongue, Igwe, not to say in the rural place like in the bush up here, or somebody hide outside the doing real FM and grab me. In the tongue, close to big coats, man picking up man. This man thing. This biscuit thing.
Biscuit.
Mr. Tell us what, so you could, because you say you didn't go to cabinet, you just talk to the Prime Minister. So whenever he come back here, tell him watch, kidnapping report make. Man pick up ransom ask for. And that is a matter for concern, Devon. Let me hear, Devon. Let me hear.
Bless
You didn't hear that yet?
Blessed afternoon to everyone listening and viewing Independent Talk today. You know, it's another packed day when Master Carl, myself, and Igwe, you know, will bring to you the facts as usual, ensuring that you understand and you don't take these guys for granted, because they're already saying that we only making noise, you know, just noise. But you know, the noise that we're making, they're listening, so it definitely have an impact. And so, Master Carl, it's not surprising that issues like kidnapping and so starts in our country, because we have been hearing the cry from persons, right? And so in all different circles, we have been seeing the crime in our country rise within the last year, right? And no one can dispute that. Even the crime boss came out and say that, look, you know, there's issue. And so with that. So when the whole question of the kidnapping and so occurs, it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. But the nation has to be prepared, right? And as the Prime Minister rightly said, no one is coming to help us, you know. We have to solve it ourselves. He made it clear that no one is coming to help us. Right? So we just need to pay attention of these guys' words and to see where our country is going. So much is happening and affecting the core of our nation. Right? The persons who mostly affected by all these things, right, is those who do not have a voice for themselves. That is why we are here, to ensure that the voiceless is being heard. The messages to encourage you, to keep you stable, to make you understand what is going on. Yes, we are here. We will try our best to clarify issues for you, bring you truthful and up-to-date information, ensuring that you stay focused on the ball. Because mind you, these guys are making a mess of it. And one of the only ways that we can get them out of here is to vote them out. Get registered. Be prepared. Let's organize. Right? We are here to continue to encourage you. Have hope. Listen to us. Listen to the facts. Right? And make your own judgment. It is time for us to take back our country. For too long, 1 year and months is a long time to let incompetent persons run our country to bring it down to the ground. It is time for us to reclaim our country. Master Carl, before I pass it on, I just want to say happy birthday to Miss Mitchell, the mom of Dr. Mitchell. Yeah, she's celebrating, I think, 100 plus years. Wow. That's an incredible, thing by this lady. She has been, so strong over the years and showing that, she continued to be a pillar, not just to Dr. Mitchell, but to the nation on a whole. All right, and to all other centurions who are celebrating and who have celebrated, we wish you all the best here on Independent Talk. And so, all right, Master Carl.
Guitar clip there for me.
It's almost full.
Now play the clip, man.
Play it with the...
Yeah, play the clip.
All right.
Resoundingly clear, there is need for dialogue with Minister for Health, Senator Jonathan Lacrette, to address outstanding matters. President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says government has only met the demands of 50% of the workers, which include the payment of outstanding mileage allowances. However, their ultimate request appears to have been denied.
We have reached out to the Ministry of Health, right? We have asked for a sit-down, not just to make demands, We want to know from an administrative point of view. We want to give our perspective. The worker wants to give their perspective on how health in general and mental health specifically can get better in this country. And how does that happen? Through social dialogue. So far, we have never gotten that sit down. Since 2022, right, the new administration came, we had ministers. We have not had one single sit down with the Minister of Health to discuss how we go forward as important stakeholders. And this has happened. Like I stated before, we are going into our 4th week of protest, and yet for all, there is no sit down, there is no seeming peek into any idea of having dialogue. And really and truly, it hurts. There is an opportunity here for this minister, this government to show that they actually care by sitting. So it's not just about them, it's about the whole health sector, how we view it in the year of mental health and wellness. Are we just doing it for sloganeering? Are we just doing it just to talk? We have to demonstrate that we really care about workers. So again, they are representing not just themselves, but hundreds of health workers across this country.
So, Mr. Jonathan Lacrette, I'm coming at you this evening.
Missing in action.
I'm coming at you this evening. My first advice to you is to go. Now, please.
Leave.
My second advice to you, before you go, the $2,000 you get, you always get the extra money, give it back. Because you don't work in for it. And not me, I'd say that, you know. Brian Grimes say you hiding. The third thing, Jonathan, with the life jacket you in the campaign, you have a life jacket. You lose the life jacket, Jonathan? Or because you get the money from GBN, you don't take for GDB. Sorry, not GBN, GDB. Mr. Lacrette, let me talk to you. You're a man of the cloth. Because when I hear you pray during that campaign, I say, nah, that had to be Jesus Christ, twin brother. But when the best budget was read, the pronouncement was that health would be on the front border. So Jonathan, well, when you start to go in the hospital at 2 o'clock and thing in the morning, I say, well, Jonathan mean business. I say, well, Jonathan is the man. Because I don't know if Jonathan, you're looking for a security contract, so he's going to hold security sleeping to get the contract. And whilst we are at it, Jonathan, ask your good friend Andy if you have anything to do with the school feeding program. I don't want to forget. Because I know all you're good. Mr. Tell what you and Andy good too. Ask Andy for me if you have anything to do with the school feeding program. Anyways, Mr. Lacrette, give back the people the $2,000 because you don't walk in and not me at say that. Why you hiding? The man say, outstanding matters needs to be addressed. Why you hiding from a meeting? Jonathan, why? Because you got $2,000, Jonathan. Have a heart, Jonathan. You're a man of God. Man of God behaving so. That what I tell you in my opening salvo. The church, the clergy, and Jonathan is a man of the clergy. Jonathan, please. If the work too big for you, there's no shame in giving it up.
Leave.
Go now, please. The $2,000 what you're taking and you don't working for it, give it back, please. And I feel you have to get the life jacket because maybe the life jacket might steady you.
Yeah, save his life.
And Jonathan, go down in sackcloth and ashes. For the affliction of the nation. Please. Because you know how to do it. But Jonathan, why? You of all persons, I used to call Jonathan, Mr. Jonathan Lacrette, Senator. I used to call him the quarterback. I used to call him the midfielder, the thing. Because when you hear Jonathan praying, you're saying, come down now, you know. But Jonathan, when I hear this clip with Grimes, and what is instructive here, Devon, with that clip? Mr. Grimes made no secret to the nation that he supported Mr. Lacrette and them in the last election.
Yeah.
Mr. Grimes said so unequivocally.
He was very honest about that.
So, I have no reason but to believe Brother Grimes. Brother Grimes want to see you.
Check him.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Lacrette, where have you been? Because when the children, and I'm speaking in a language which you understand, Mr. Lacrette, those others might know, the rest of Jab might know, but you and Mr. Telesford go know. Dennis and them might know. But when the Son of Man came to praise the Ancient of Days, Lucifer was with them, you know. And he asked Lucifer, why are you doing here? Because the others didn't even make out Lucifer, and Lucifer said, what? But are they up and down here trying to tempt, damage, and destroy? And then the Ancient of Days said, what's out my servant Job? So I was saying, what's out my servant Jonathan? Because the way Jonathan knows pray, I say this guy is a man of substance. I say this guy mean well for the nation because you appear with life jacket, you pray on coals of fire, but now you get the work, Jonathan. You don't do injustice to the work. So give back the people their money.
Johnny in the garden
And go.
hiding. He had in the garden hiding.
So why are you doing that? Because I have to speak about you, Mr. Lacrette. I have to. Because you is a guy, he happens to be you, Andy, Ron, and Dennis. I see them my house and them. Because Dennis is my representative. I know him. I know me and the brothers and them tight, all the family and them. Ron is a fella I like because since before the election, he used to call here now and then. Well, when I hear Lacko pray, I say, nah, that's the quarterback of the thing.
Yeah, that is
All the play goes through him. Or Mr. tell us what had some kind of fall farm in my vicinity. I say that bring employment to the people up there, but that didn't materialize.
Take away.
But, Mr. Lacrette, I'm talking to you. And you know who the Lord love, he chastens. You know that. So I have to be rough with you to get you in line. So, this week coming, call Grimes, brother Grimes, and say what? Grimes, I had some things, I had some challenges, but I'm ready to sit with you and think about mental health. Because with all the protests, the acting Prime Minister as he then was Andy Williams, he didn't know. Brother Grimes, did you know about the protests? Brother Grimes, did you understand what went on close to you this week, Devon, Grambra? When they were saying mental health, but in between, there are certain placards indicating their unhappiness.
Exactly.
Brother Lacrette, were you aware? Because things is not nice as all you go in the gala and them and tell people, you know. Kidnapping, school born. The thing no nice like how all you telling people. So, I will use a terminology from Sister Claudette here because she seems to be the one who does about her conscience when she read.
Let's be straight.
Let's be straight. Mr. Lacquette, let's be straight. Go and meet Mr. Grimes because he say you have some unfinished business which you could treat with. Or by extension, Mr. Taylor's son. You see, you happen to be the linchpin now. You I could talk to. So tell the Prime Minister when I was talking like I say, you just tell him how the housing. Tell him much. Master Kala and them they running him out Mr. Lacquette. They say how Mr. Grimes was seeing him. So tell the Prime Minister to tell Mr. Lacquette, Master Kala and them was on a radio Sunday, running him out and saying how Mr. Grimes want to see Mr. Lacquette because he have a lot of business, especially mental health. And with all the pressure, all you put it on the people, mental health is a serious thing. So, Mr. Taylor, so they come out to church already, I know that. So tell the Prime Minister when he comes.
You listening?
Master Carl say how he should tell you to talk to Brother Jonathan Lacquette so that he should have a meeting with Brother Grimes who said nothing. And anything less is uncivilized. So he should ask back Mr. Lacquette for the $2,000 and take him out in our ministry. It don't make any sense. Because I don't know if the life jacket my boss or he losing the sea.
Why one of the things that we need to pay attention concerning the Ministry of Health, and so I'm understanding, I pick it up from the grapevine, that they are about to house in one building the mentally ill and the home for the aged, located at Richmond Hill. I'm understanding, right, that some repairs or some work has to be done on the present mental institution. And they are planning, as a matter of fact, if they have not done it as yet, they are planning to house both mentally ill patients and senior citizens in one building. In my view, when I want to put a question out there, to those of us or those of you who continue to advocate mental health and support for the elderly, don't abuse them. Isn't that abuse in trying to twin those two groups of persons together? Isn't that a serious issue based on the housing situation and the condition that those persons are supposed to be in? I'm just concerned because I heard it in the grapevine. If it is not done as yet, it will be done, because I was listening to either the PSN Ministry of Health or one of them making some pronouncement of that.
So they want to call on Brother Lacquette.
Well, I made that call they know, and it falls rightly in Brother Lacquette's spot. Brother Lacquette, if you have not
hear.
You will hear it from us. Find out. And brother, tell us what you know we cool. I mean, we ain't hiding that. We good. So pass the message on to Brother Lacquette and even the Prime Minister. It is a concern that persons are raising outside there when it comes to mental health. And we in the month of the mental health, right? And the elderly. Right? So we must pay attention to some of those moves that these people want to make. It is abuse in my view. Right? And please find some other location to house the patients of the mentally ill. Have them separate from the elderly so you won't have no problems afterwards.
So, Mr. Lacquette, so that's your segment.
Yes.
We call it the Mr. Senator Jonathan Lacquette segment.
The life jacket man.
So Mr. Life Jacket, they want speak of some issues. Put your heads on the ground.
Yes.
And treat with it.
Put on your life jacket. Go and save people.
Then, but if you is speaking to Brother Grimes, because Brother Grimes mentioned mental health.
Exactly.
So if you is speaking to Brother Grimes, and lay up the clip again with Brother Grimes, because I want them here.
You would have know what's going on.
You would have know. So you see how it's important to treat with the people. Mr. Lacquette, let me hear the clip. That clip is for Lacquette to hear.
4 weeks of protest by mental health nurses at the Montgay Psychiatric Hospital, and one plea remains resoundingly clear. There is need for dialogue with Minister for Health, Senator Jonathan Lacrette, to address outstanding matters. President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says government has only met the demands of 50% of the workers, which include the payment of outstanding mileage allowances. However, their ultimate request appears to have been denied.
We have reached out to the Ministry of Health, right? We have asked for a sit down, not just to make demands, We want to know from an administrative point of view. We want to give our perspective. The worker wants to give their perspective on how health in general and mental health specifically can get better in this country. And how does that happen? Through social dialogue. So far, we have never gotten that sit down. Since 2022, right, the new administration came, we had ministers. We have not had one single sit down with the Minister of Health to discuss how we go forward as important stakeholders. And this has happened. We, like I stated before, we are going into our 4th week of protest, and yet for all, there is no sit down, there is no seeming peek into any idea of having dialogue. And really and truly, it hurts. There is an opportunity here for this minister, this government to show that they actually care by sitting. So it's not just about them, it's about the whole health sector, how we view it in the year of mental health and wellness. Are we just doing it for sloganeering? Are we just doing it just to talk? We have to demonstrate that we really care about workers. So again, they are representing not just themselves, but hundreds of health workers across this country.
So, Devon, you see how the thing come, Mr. Lacrette? 4 weeks now, you have protest.
Where is Laco?
Of course, we have the delegation.
Where is Laco? 4 weeks now, Mr. Grimes, saying it, that they had protests. Where is the Minister of Health? By the way, is he in Grenada? We should ask that question. Is the Minister of Health in the country?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gates.
Yeah, is the Minister of Health in this country? I mean, for 4 weeks now, a protest is going on, right, with the workers at the Ministry of Health. 4 weeks. Even the acting Prime Minister happens to drive up there, not knowing about the protest, and happens to go up there. Even after that, we have heard nothing from the Minister of Health.
But what is strange, Devon? Mr. Andy Williams, acting Prime Minister as he then was, said, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. He get to know. So after he get to know, I thought he'd say, Mr. Lacrette, look how we're going on in what fall under your purview. Mm-mm. So what happened now? They don't communicate not. So all you hugging up like turtle doves, preaching real love and not so the thing is then.
Well, Mr. Telesford tell you that, Mr. Telesford tell you that he only talk to the Prime Minister when he comes to the whole
the rest though.
The rest don't matter.
Yeah.
So they have a segregated thing, they leaving out those, not a cabinet discussion they having, really. Individual discussions they are leaving out. Why, what kind of mess we in this country?
So, Mr. Lacrette, you have some work to do. Because it is what it is. Chatters on the street say you get pay already.
Yes.
The 1.7.
Yeah. Plus the $2,000 you get again every month for
so
doing
Mr. Lacrette, if you decide not to work, it's a matter entirely for you. But give back the people the money.
Yes.
Don't continue accepting that money and you don't work in.
As a
because health situation is so on the low. And not only here we saying it. Because all thing on hospital do saying we can only emergency we could treat with.
Yeah. But even Mr. Grimes and all said it. It's the worst.
And you know what is so appalling is the silence, from Mr. Lacrette with all that has been said. But when it come to go and take out picture in the bush to talk now, they will build hospital here in the floodplain, they could be there. Mm-hmm. They could take out all kind of picture. But protest 4 weeks now. Mental health.
Can't hear a word.
All how they looking for you. You like Adam in the garden hiding. But Adam hiding in the garden, boy, he was found out,
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the program, I say, The only hope now in this country, Devon, is for the return of the new National Party. And new National Party,
Without a doubt.
Grenada depending on you. You just like I see when I talk to Mr. Lacret, and the Ancient of Days tell Lucifer, what about my servant Job? And then Lucifer tell him, well, you fence wrong Job, but go and waste time on Job. He say, watch. Do anything to him, but don't kill him. So maybe that's what they're doing to Grenada now. They're doing everything to him, but some go dead still. And Mr. Lacret, you know about that. So please, Mr. Lacret, get back your life jacket. Start to pray again. Like how Ninja Man say, we get bad again, we pick up your raga. So pick up your prayer again and your life jacket. It might bring some sense of understanding to you. Because I had to tell you that. Because the people complaining, they meeting me. I go down in the city, everybody pulling me square and tell me, a man say to me, so how come you don't talk about like Mr. Lacret? You find his small fry? I say, no. So what Mr. Lacret do? The man say, watch, the hell people, you see over here, Brian Graham, I'm saying, well, we trying to meet the man, he don't come in, just like the PS in Carriacou. So there is something going on in. Because the PS in Carriacou, Mr. Graham, something wrong. You support them in and them, but like they taking you for papi show.
They don't like you.
like I'll put it in a ragamuffin slang. Yeah. Mr. Graham like they taking bad man for fool.
Yes, man. Yeah. They preen you, man.
Because the PS in Carriacou don't come in.
Once it's you, they don't come in.
How you cry for Mr. Lacret, he don't come in. Brandon man not taking you serious, Brand.
Nah, Brand. Brandon man preen you.
And Brand, your body was just the other day. They must have some respect for your brand.
Straight up. You know,
you battle respect for them men and them.
Show some respect for the
I could remember your battle on Tam CC. You cause a lot of people to see and turn the next way. They forgetting that.
Yeah.
So, Brand, they go come back to you still when the bell ring again. Mm-hmm. I hope you live by the gate like St. Peter and you're waiting to take rally.
He waiting.
But leave Jonathan for me.
He waiting.
We go take a small break and come back.
They tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes, yeah. But yet on abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash their lawyer, set up an inquiry, just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need come close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking and beating. So me plea are repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging food. Now we enacted 1 week. Prophesy to the country. Streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Now this is my humble petition. Another date for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. Data view might stuff the pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation. Go. To safeguard our image. Before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on the knees. And I'm begging, go now. They try to stick me with rich Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni, Sweet Man Glenn and Sharma, came face to face with the karma. And Mill was awful, but true went to Paul. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch it and see they just follow now. Before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire. Now. Before the 5 years expire, like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And a bleeding go now. Before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury, streams turn into rivers, then into seas. It's why I'm bleeding go now. Immediately. And don't forget your AG go now. Please. Love to quarrel, always oral, highly immoral. They let the good doctor starve to death. Used to court him, once support him, no road to point for him. But once in power, they quickly forget. They love confrontation, so no mediation. The case by the Privy Council, but the warriors they settle. You see, you could make a fortune filling up a lagoon. The environment is boost out its people too. Is why I want them grow. With them old lies they peddling now. It's only PR they selling. They wouldn't tell me the whole truth. The man just wanted a root. Before they carve out a mountain. Before the cost we start counting like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And I beg it go now. Always get the contract.
We back here. At this point, I must give some credence and kudos to the RGPF and the fire department. Now they wanna go tell you something. When you have all this boat building and the fire department could save all this boat building with a fire, don't look at that simple.
Excellent work.
All the firemen who work, Mr. Vani Cohen and Mr. Mackenzie should get commendation and award. To save the rest of the building in such close proximity.
Very close.
Devon, you ought to give some form of recognition. It shouldn't be only by words. It should be something that they could remember.
They did an excellent job based on all reports. And so the gentlemen from the fire department and other persons who assisted did an excellent job in saving perhaps 3-4 other wooden buildings within 6-7 feet away from each other.
So,
right?
Superintendent Kingston acting. Tell him, man.
Great job.
Real FM say good job.
Good job.
Silver and gold have we not. But we could advocate that the powers that be commend it and give the firemen. People, when you're boat building, like, you have to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And that type of heat that we have outside.
And I understand fire people from all sorts and other place came in. So I go back. So I want to speak to Mr. Randy Carnot now. When last I check we good, I don't know if he's still good. So when are they going to negotiate for fringe benefit. The measly $30 or $25. All you negotiate for the firemen, you see it on off. Go back. Go back and tell the Prime Minister that $25 don't enough. Make it $200 for fire allowance for the firemen. Because all you see the importance, all you see how they perform. So instead of taking executive allowance of $750, go back and tell the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, and the advisor, National Security Advisor, and the Commissioner, go back and tell them and them watch. We negotiate for the firemen, but we don't give them enough. Make it 200. Because if Jonathan Lacquette and them getting 2,000 and don't do nothing,
you could give the police 200.
And firemen saving building, you could give them 200. That is my simple argument. I'm not for or against you. I'm just saying it as is. Because if a man could act like Prime Minister and he have protest for weeks and he don't know, and he getting $2,000, and firemen saving building, 200 is not too much. 200 is not too much.
That shows us the parity of these guys.
Because if kidnapping could happen, and before the morning, the CID have people in custody, this morning I'll give them don't know. Because you have retirees getting $750 and all kind of thing for doing nothing. So men are walking, give them the due thing. So the little $60 I again constables increase. The firemen, give them something more. Please. So I'm talking to you, Mr. Cannot. Because they say you is the good one among them. That because I was in town. See me the police and them, because anytime they see me, they like to come and talk to me because they just have so much gripe.
The belly doesn't sit them a lot.
Yeah, because a lot of time come and tell me they want to lead the walk. I say no.
Service.
If you don't have a plan, don't go. Because I say everything all you complaining about mini work used to happen and could happen after transfer, promotion, not enough money. I say a lot of time they are wrong. I say don't let that make all you lay down tools and have a young retiree thing. I say no.
The nation depends on them.
So I always have to admonish them. I just take time just to go in the city and things, just to see them and speak to them. And say, no, all you have to service, be a servant, all the reward go come. So, I'm speaking for them now, but when shootings happen, I'll be the first one, just like in recent times we see some tips circulating on social media. And a lot of people call me, yes, Master Carl, you see the tape? I say, what tape? Some video with police beating man. I say, I saw something while browsing through social media, but I didn't see from the genesis. I don't know what happened from the beginning, so I cannot compare and just speak on the end. So I tell them, get the whole thing for me. You understand, Devon? Get when they meet the man, first and what happened to the part they showing, and then we go about discussion. They say, oh, I take any police. I don't take no side. I just being objective. So just so, the firemen, Mr. Kingston, but I don't know if you're afraid to talk to me because they didn't confirm me in the rank. You could call me. Let me talk about that.
The hand tie. We have to leave.
I know you don't think.
You're trying the best.
Because one of the PROs and them say they go, revert all you. So I'm going to shout out a couple of police. My good friend Christine Prince. How you doing? I hope you're listening. Hey, and my boy Stocky, a long time I don't see you, boy. We don't see a little while now to have an adult beverage. Yeah, because they saying who they won't confirm them, they go revert them. So, but the firemen, spare heart. Even if it's a one-off, you could give them something that will motivate others to perform. But Devon, we have to deal with the elephant in the room.
The big elephant, not the small one.
And let me tell you why we have to deal with it. Because all the perhaps, maybe, what if, them say, she say, the Honorable Prime Minister was in some gala and he speak the truth. The whole thing is about making monies from the gift to build 500 grade and style home. You know? So if I don't believe me, hear him.
Is another major issue. We are committed to building, and when I say we, it doesn't mean the government has to build it, but that we have to facilitate that to ensure it happens. At least 500 Grenadian homes to help with the housing situation in Grenada. Again, we view the housing as an area that the diaspora, particularly from an investment perspective, can get involved in. Because we know many of you who want to come home don't want to deal with the challenges of having to buy the land yourself, deal with the lawyers, deal with the banks, deal with the contractors, and construct the home. You prefer to actually have the home built so that you can simply walk in and buy the home. And we believe there's a real opportunity here, both from an investment and from a use of technology point of view, to begin the process of transforming the housing stock in Grenada. So I certainly want to invite you again to look at getting involved and investing in this area. It is not
Transformation in housing is indeed a splendor, Devon. The homes negotiated and built for low-income people has become homes for high-income people who could face financial institution. So they could buy the house at the value now. Because watch. I want you to look up our day for me Igwe as a go around. Gentrification, G-E-N-T-I, not G-E-N-T-R-I, F-I-C-E-T-I-O-N. Look up that one and we'll get into it. So, the intended house for low-income people, they want to become house for high-end. And we go play the clips time to sort. No, wait. So, it has become that kind of houses now. But you hear what the Prime Minister say now. They don't want to go to bank. They don't want to have problem with builders and things. So give them the house. So when we say that they believe the house too good for the low-income people. But here is, Devon, give me the meaning, Igwe.
The meaning of gentrification.
Yeah.
The process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people.
Say that again.
The process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in.
You hear that, Devon? So you hear why the manager who was saying the condos.
The condos.
Though it's too good for the people.
They're like the Jews in New York City, buying up all the properties and so the persons, the low income persons like the black and the so can't get an opportunity. That is the style of.
So here the can of worms they open up, you know. So the persons they give, because this housing thing, when you check it out, it has two levels of qualification. One, they have a committee and sits and say who gets. When they give you the information, you have to go to a financial institution. And then the financial institution, if they do agree, that means you don't qualify. So you have two hurdles to cross to be qualified. No. All they talk about is telling the financial institution how much to think on interest. And then somebody say, Master Carl, how that could be so, and the ECCB and other people and them others set the interest rate. So they are another thing to trick the people. But here what they opening up. Devon, so you get a letter. You can't get nothing in the financial institution. You come and you talk to Igwe. Igwe has the money. Igwe will tell you, watch, I could give you the money, but we go sign an agreement for you to pay me back. And if you default in 6 months I will take it. So people with money now could go and meet these people and offer them this thing because they want a place. You don't have the money somebody giving you, but they will sign a legal agreement. If you don't pay back, they could take it. And how the general manager, whoever talking on the radio, the houses have been offered at a particular price, but if you sell it on the open market, it could be more. So they opening the thing for gentrification. What's your take there, man?
Well, I listened to the Prime Minister clip there, and what I get from out of it, no, they are basically making it difficult for low-income persons and so, who the houses were supposed to be for, they are making it difficult for them to get it, right? And you had the chairman of the housing authority stating that, oh, government is prepared to build another portion of houses, so those persons you're talking about, the low income, will be available, it would be available to them. No, in the Prime Minister's clip, what he said, those 500 Grenadian style homes that they want to build is also not for the low income people, because he mentioned the diaspora. You hear what he said? Persons in the diaspora may want to get a house and they don't want to go through all the legal hurdles and buying the land and everything like that. They can afford. So these houses, in other words, would be again targeted by persons in the diaspora. You understand? So it's it's amazing to hear how these guys twisting around. So in my view, those houses that are there presently, forget it about the low-income persons. They cannot get it. And the other style houses, the 500, will not be available also to the low-income persons who these houses are supposed to be for. I mean, we need to listen to words of our leaders. The Prime Minister in particular, the Minister of Housing, we need to listen to them on their utterance. In everything that they have said so far, they have discluded, they have left out all those who these houses are intended for, and they continue to make excuse as to why they have to do it so, as to why they have to send it through the bank. And again, Mr. Telesford, and I want to reiterate the way in which you keep lying to the Grenadian people, right? You said, and even the chairman of the housing authority, you said that too. Can't quote you all in word for word, but based on your understanding, the clip could be found. You said that it is the biggest transfer of assets from government to its people. Right? But you're not giving it to the people. You're not transferring it to the people. You are transferring it to the bank.
No, Devon. It's transferring it to their people.
You understand? So stop mamagaing the people and telling people that once they get the money and you come to them and you buy the house, and so no, you have to wait another 15, 20, perhaps 30 years before you can own that home. And in the meantime, who benefits? The financial institution who can hold on to the title of this property and do business for themselves in the next 10, 15 years.
Listen this. Why is gentrification wrong? Displacement happens when long-time or original neighborhood residents move from a gentrified area because of higher rents, more higher mortgages, and we've seen that. And because how the situation says that you got a property tax. So gentrification in housing, economic and health issues that affects a community historically and culturally reduce social capital. And once you have once the social part of the thing affect, crime is the result. So I hope they're taking heed as to what is going on. So Eagle, we have some, and as we in housing, we have some clips. So let me play the clip and discuss. So give us clips and we go discuss.
The purge is about to
Ultimately,
start.
with condominiums, there is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe they work well in the lower income bracket.
Too good for them.
I think condominiums, when you look at it in the States and stuff, it works better in a higher income bracket because people know they have to pay maintenance costs. All right? Regardless of what you pay for the condominium.
Devon.
Man, too good. Imagine that they call it condominium. It's too good for the low income because they the whole question of maintenance and to excuse again, excuse to try to deny those persons these houses. So unfortunate.
Now, what we have asked the financial institutions is that please cater for persons who are self-employed. In that, don't do the loans that they have to pay every month. You could probably change it up to every 3 months, every 4 months, twice a year, because when they get that lump sum, they can come in and pay. So we have asked them, I mean, it's up to the financial institution, but we have asked them, just as how NIS has gotten to the point where self-employed people paying NIS could come in and pay in chunks rather than every month. So that is on board. We have had 2 credit unions coming back to us immediately and saying, hey, you're going to get it under 5%. Probably closely around 4, under a little bit under 4%. So they're very close to what I'm talking about here. In the one that is $73,000, if you take it for 30 years, and they're willing to give 30 years, you will only pay at 3% $308
per month.
per month.
Okay.
All right? But even at 4%, you'll be able to pay about just around $400 or a little less than that. All right? Per month. So think about it. It depends on where you are. If you tell the financial institutions that I could only pay $350, they will decide with the interest rate how many years they could give you for that. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. But we know for sure you can get up to 30 years. We know for sure all they're asking you for, like couple of the credit unions, is your job letter. And you, just as how you fill out in the bank, what are your liabilities? In other words, what are your expenses for the month?
Your budget.
Your budget,
Yeah.
right? Some might ask you to join, and others might not ask you to join. They just get it straight off.
Let me deal with this guy. I don't know his name. Guy. For discussion's sake this evening.
He don't.
No. I don't say that out. He's a bright guy. All of them are doing that they bright, they feel it too bright. Yeah, but tell them Master Carl say too smart died in front one smart though. Because they're too smart. So they wanna go for argument's sake, let we argue the figures he give. Guy. Get and start taking some things because we go hard up at the end. You say it could be $400. You say it could be $300 and something. First of all, you say 2 institutions call back and say they could give you around 5. But you hear where you go? They say they could go out 5, but you start to talk about 3 something and 4 something. So you know that a lie. That was a lie. We know you lie. But let me, for discussion's sake, somebody has to pay $400 a month because that your figures. They have to pay. They go to a life insurance. That is $150. Add that to the $400. Utilities and other costs could come up to $250 because we know bills and so on. Transportation to and from work like are $150, and I conservative figures.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Food. Okay, last time I say food at $300. You remember as we go outside our man say $500 for food.
Yes. That 300 thing was long ago.
We don't talk about the insurance for the house yet. You know. They want to give me a figure out insurance for this. Out 150.
600?
For the month?
Yeah.
Anyway between 4 and 6.
4 and 6.
100?
Yeah.
For insurance?
For insurance.
For a month?
For a month. So for argument's sake, let's say 4 or 350.
Let me go low. Let me say 250.
Yeah.
All right.
Or 300.
Go on.
Give me a figure there.
We have 1,700 so far.
Which one are the low income people? What are they doing that, making that money? That's the question to us. So, Guy, you're not really programmed. But I don't feel that guy wasn't here.
No.
You know him?
I have no idea.
This guy could never tell me staying in Grenada.
But he can't because he's making a reference about the condos in America and so he trying to make reference to that compare. Watch out, man.
So simply put,
Manjipopot.
somebody at what thing must walk in for more than $2,500 a month.
A month to qualify for that loan. That's why in one of the programs I said, they know that with this condition, they're automatically disqualifying a group of persons and making it easy for another group of persons who are not dependent. Yes, they may need housing, you know, but they are not as bad or as worse off as the people who these houses were designed for. The house is too good for people.
So at this juncture, let me indicate to Mr. Telesford, and that particular gentleman, I don't know your name, and I don't wish to know your name. Because what he's saying is just jackassing the thing. After the passage of Hurricane Emily and Ivan, the NNP government, who was the government at the time, had these discussions with the Chinese for housing for the people and them who could not go to a financial institution. That was the genesis of the house. But Mr. Telesford, I am forgetting that part. So the houses the Chinese give as a gift was never for people who could go in financial institutions, Mr. Telesford. You're saying how it was, what you call it, one-manism? What ism it is now? Jackassism? This Ramgoat argument and them all come with. The genesis of the housing was after the passage of Emily and Ivan. The housing stock was depleted, and there was a set of people in the populace who means did not afford them to go to a financial institution. So the government of the day, who cared for its citizens, went to the Chinese and asked that favor of them. The Chinese agreed. And Devon would know this discussion started since before, in 2005 thereabout. Devon would know in 2008, the National Democratic Congress said give us 1,000 houses instead, and money.
Yeah.
So follow the money, they still believe it's not our house. Hold on, Carl. Housing for people is our money. So you understand? You follow the money? So, Mr. Telesford, if you knew about the genesis, this Ramgoat argument and everything for you know you don't, nobody don't believe in you, that's stupidness. You're just making all yourself look ordinary. So it was never about for people who could go and this thing. That was never the intention. So that was the intention of the house. So now all you know. You have the caller there still?
Yep.
Let's take the caller.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. The team of men that fight for the cause of the poor people in this country. Congratulations to you, gentlemen. Master Carl, how you doing?
I'm good.
Right. Well, because the program is about this morning, about the housing units and so forth, I want to add to it now.
Don't want
but there
to
is a
add.
lot I have to.
Don't want to do it. Do it.
Yes. Yes. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to keep it on the housing unit. Now, when these houses was being built and was handed over to the government after completion, government had to put in the little water, some little infrastructures and water and electricity for the people to get to use. Yes. So that was only based on what the government of Grenada would have collected for, but the houses was meant for the people. And let me say this, people under the bracket of less than $1,500 a month was the first set of people that would get privilege to acquire these houses and them. But when I did a background check just yesterday, if these people that selling the houses today want to sell the houses for $50,000 and $75,000 the units for that kind of price, how long would it take a worker that paying less on the average $250 a month, just on an average? It will, for 20 years, they will not be able to pay back for a one-bedroom apartment for 20 years. And it means if they were going to get loan in the bank to pay off government, the government automatically gets the money, but it automatically remains the property of the bank until you finish paying.
That is common sense.
That is obvious. And if you falter with the bank will repossess it, and government automatically, it will come back in the hands of the government, because the government will have to pay out the remainder of loan, so it automatically comes back to the hand of the government. This is not for poor people.
Now, what you're missing a point in? When it becomes the property of the bank and they take it back, they could sell it for market value.
Exactly.
So they could call $250,000 for it.
Yeah.
That is the crux of the matter.
That's correct. And by that time, the interest from the bank, whether it's 0.1% or 1%, that individual now, instead of paying $50,000 for a single bedroom apartment, will now have to pay $75,000 plus dollars because of interest. So, in other words, what I am about to say now, this government, they don't consider the poor and vulnerable. As I hear one guy make comment about poor and vulnerable, I want to tell him, because I guess he's listening to that program.
Don't want to tell him. I stop telling you, don't want to say it.
A poor, according to the Prime Minister of this country, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, he said any individual that is earning less than $650 per month is poor and vulnerable.
No. Don't misquote the Prime Minister. I say according to the World Bank.
Okay.
Anybody owning under 650 is poor.
All right.
Be fair.
Yes. Okay. Well, I take it on face value.
No. Right. We had a clip to say that.
Yeah. So, in other words, so anybody who is earning under $650 per month is poor and vulnerable.
But
you're still taking out $150 from the poor and vulnerable and saying it was meant to be removed after a year. A budget cycle is 1 year.
But you're missing the trick color. He says the World Bank say,
yeah,
if you earning less than 650, you're poor. But he also went on to say that if the government at the time, which was NNP, if they didn't like you, they will make it 650. Exactly. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, I remember that also.
And then when he come, he remove
150.
So he make you poorer.
He make you poorer. So now this point I am stressing on here now is that the point is They don't believe in poor people. The supporters don't see nobody as poor. And I could go on to say it. There is a few doctors that I know. Dr. George Mitchell, medical practitioner. Dr. Lane. When poor people go for attendance because they're sick, these men, some of them have to attend to them free. After, give them medication to send them home before they could go to the hospital for proper medical treatment. Now, if there wasn't poor people, they would have able to pay for their attendance and buy the medication. These are poor people these men are attending to. And I could name a number of other doctors that do the same like, and I call in these two names because in discussion, we spoke about it. A lot of people come to them, but they don't have money. And now where the economy is getting worse and worse, more people are sent on the breadline. More people cannot on a 750 or a little above 750 these days. They start begging the nenen. And when you go with these facts and you start to tell people that they're saying you're one-sided and you are enemy of the government, but these are the truth.
And the kidnapping start.
Huh?
The kidnapping start.
And when you're talking about kidnapping, Master Carl, be mindful. Robberies. When people don't see money in certain times, like times of like now heading to the most
Yuletide
celebration, Christmas. You know what's going to happen? Van sellers and truck sellers and shops, small shops and things, has to be very careful. And I'm sorry. This time of the year, September, October, there used to be a lot of debushing, people going to work. I mean, it baffles me. No, at a time like now.
Yeah, okay, Carl.
Come on. Thank you very much, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Devon, chatters on the street. Because I asked if this guy didn't stay in here. But chatters on the street says that his brother-in-law is chairman of Spice Mass. His sister is a director of finance on Gravel and Concrete Board. You see what he's saying? What he's saying?
St. Paul's connection.
You see what you see what he's saying?
St. Paul's connection.
But
remember where the Minister of Housing
but listen
constituency is, eh?
One of the chatters on the street just messaged me, he said, Master Carl, this 30 years thing, what am I talking about? When they used to say ANP want to keep you poor, they might want to keep you poor, you know.
Yes.
Because here what the chatter say. The chatter say what? You're forgetting the exorbitant legal fees, because I didn't even give that. Legal fees. The people will have to pay as part of the loan. Still, when they finish paying the mortgage, they have to pay more legal fees for reconveyance to get the property in their name. So with a 30-year mortgage, payback is approximately 2.5 times the amount they borrow. So if they borrow 70 million, they pay in 70 and 70.
70,000. Like 140,000.
Plus half of that 35,000. So 100 and nearly 60,000. So who want to keep who poor? You
see, and some of the fees, these guys are not telling the persons what they're getting into. It's only when they reach to the institution, the financial institution, they would realize what they are up to, you know. Because when that letter that they sent out to them, right, they give them 2 weeks to respond. Some of them responding right there, but they give them 2 weeks to respond and say whether or not if they will accept the offer. But further to that, they only have 30 days, right, to go to the financial institution, get their loan approved, and come back to get those houses, you know.
So let me put on the thing clear. So somebody who gets a house for the $70,000, let me say they're successful in the financial institution.
Yes, they're successful.
With all the fees we talk about. But when they finish pay after the 30 years, they pay $175,000. With interest and everything and years in.
Because if we do the calculation, the gentleman say for what? For the one bedroom you're paying what?
308 based on the years. You give either 300 or 400.
Right. So we're working on the 308. Right? For 30 years.
No, the 400 is for 40 years. No, 300 is 30 years. Yeah.
Right? 30 years. So you imagine that you're talking about what? 36. Wow. More, at least 100. Let's be very conservative. Let's say $100,000. Right? After you done pay for it, you gonna be paying $100,000 to $110,000 when the house is supposed to be how much? $55,000 based on the market value. So you're paying basically 100% more. So that extra $50,000 you have to pay on that. I mean, what are they making this thing so difficult for people? But then again, they are targeting the persons who they feel comfortable with. The public servants. And no disrespect to you all, you know.
Somebody tell me that straight. They say, Masakal, them people and them have the list of people who apply and they giving those who they know can make it, the letters.
Because here what they do. They say you have about 6,000 applicants, right? They know only about 600 persons. About 600 persons that can get. But they're giving out thousands of letters because they already know that a section of people will not qualify. They will not, so then you will continue and say, oh, well, we gave you letters, I mean, we this and that, and making people feel as if, well, they're comfortable and they will get through with it. When they know to themselves that persons in that category will never get through. Because the bank, remember, the bank also understands that it's not only 600 letters that go out, you know. Mm-hmm. They understand that it's thousands of letters that go. So they will say, you know what, that one didn't qualify. Let's put that one on the back. Let's wait for more to come that we know would qualify. So they will put preference on the selection.
The same concern that some supporters of the Congress put in forward that the people on them won't pay. The bank would have that same concern too.
Of course.
So if they say the reason why they're sending people to the bank because people won't pay, the financial institution would have the same concern.
Ms. Masakal, the shopkeepers have that concern. When the shopkeepers credit their goods to people in the village, they have that concern that they may not get paid, you know. But it's a risk that they are prepared to take because of the situation.
Not all shopkeepers.
Well, not all, but I mean, the majority of the shopkeepers, they will give some form of credit to somebody and they may not even get paid. You understand? So that's a risk that businesses have to be prepared to take. And Mr. Telesford, as an accountant for years, must understand these principles, right? They are sending out thousands of letters, and the bank is picking up on that because they will know that, look, they are out of that thousands of letters. We must get persons who have that reach that threshold. That these are the persons that we'll go with.
Mr. Telesford, what's all the 10 million? Somebody tell me to ask him that. What's all the 10 million? I don't know.
The 10 million for
in connection with the chicken thing.
Oh yes, that's a mystery.
You to ask you that, Mr. Telesford. So I'm asking you.
Yeah. What is the latest? Can anybody give us some information about the latest of that whole fall business? You know, but as you talk about that, I had the pleasure in visiting and I had a site visit of that project with Mr. Telesford. That's before the election and so, about a year before the election. Brought me on a tour of that facility, excellent facility, $1 million facility, and so, but I don't know what went wrong.
Devon, a person who received one of the letters has an already existing loan with a financial institution at a particular interest rate. The gentleman talk out, they tell them how much percent to give, so they say they go to the financial institution tell them what, if that had to happen, we not merging the two loans to lower the interest rate. So
God.
in effect, you have to pay two loans. So this man and I don't know, they don't do the homework. Let me take the call.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carl. Good afternoon.
Yeah, make your
Good
point.
afternoon. Yeah, Devon, when you look at the policies of the NMP governance and NDC, NMP look at the interests of people, better the living condition of people. Right? So then they go out and they get housing for the people going to compete marketing, so the living condition could be better, have a proper roof and a proper shelter. But when you look at NDC, the interest is money. Remember in 2008, the Minister of Health at the time, Glenn Welly, said that to the China, give them back take back 1,000 houses, and then they go only give me 1,000. So the money for the other 1,000 that they could give the government so that they could do something. So when you look at the 2008 government to this government, you see the interest is not to help people living condition, is to get money to help themselves and the friend, brother Carl. That is what that government main aim is to help themselves and help the friend and the people that need it. Right? They don't care about them. But I always say, like brother Carl, you have to seek the interest of the people that need. Yes, everybody needs it, but there's some need that greater. And it doesn't matter people if people have the money, they would do for themselves. But there's people that they don't have. And the main person that should reach out and help them is the government. But the government turning their back on them and helping them, those who have already.
All right,
those who have
okay.
already.
Okay, cool. Here is Devon. The gentleman spoke out $400 a month. And he make it sound so easy and nice. But let me say this to the people. The majority of the $400 per month will be going into interest. Interest is paid on reducing balance. That's why financial advisors warn against long mortgages. So you're talking about 30 years. The 2.5 times issue is confirmed by the experts. So I'm only saying that. They could go and check it. I challenge them to check it too. It is not a straight calculation. The interest is what kills you. If you get approval at the start, paying $400 a month, it's only about $50 out of that $400 are actually going to reduce the amount. So, all how they talk about it is jackassness. Good advice all are giving people. Let's take the call.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm okay, except for listening to the program concerning the housing. The people who would be occupying an apartment, now if they decide to do a little renovation, like adding an extra room or something, the walls that surround them is not theirs.
Nope.
Because they would be knocking down a piece of wall which would expose the other person on the other side. So how is this thing happening? You understand? These people don't think, we're talking about mental health. The whole batch of these people and them is mentally ill, From the Prime Minister right down, is mentally ill. These people and them is not functioning right. And I think they need to get a checkup and get to reality. Because it's just like mouth open, word jump out. And when you've been criticized on the radio, is when they come in to fix the problem. They don't think properly before they act and open their mouth and speak. Because this thing, it's sickening. Just imagine, the four walls is not yours. Even the top or the bottom is not yours. It belongs to someone else. And you have to pay so much money for that? And then you cannot do any renovation? priceless.
All right, caller. Your concern is noted.
Very much so.
So, Devon, $400 that he say towards it amount. He know. And Mr. Tell us what does our accountant they say?
Yes.
So Mr. Tell us you will know that $400 the majority is in interest. So why you being part of that? Why you being complicit to that, Mr. Tell us what, and you know better? Why? You just have to go along because you walk in now and you feel if you see that they might juke you out and you wanna walk. That's why you supporting that? And you're a man of God? I'm making the gospel so hard to preach leadership. Anyone there you go?
It's too difficult. Every step, every move that they make, they're making it difficult for persons. And you see that last caller, that point they make in terms of the maintenance and everything. No, if persons understand what they will have to go through for the next how much years to maintain and to do what needs to be done, they might just not up to go through the bank and get a $70,000 or $80,000 loan, right? And so we got a caller, Gates.
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Not too bad.
Well, I didn't leave for the program. I just come from service, and I say, let me just hear because I hear about $400, and I don't know what is the whole scenario on it. So I know what is the topic for the day. So I would like to know because I just come from service.
Well, we on the topic of housing, and so we did talk about some mental health.
The last clip, people.
You know, and sort so you could give
But
your
I'm going to listen to them, and then I'll call back. I'll call back.
Okay. All right.
Now, what we have asked the financial institutions is that please cater for persons who are self-employed. In that, don't do the loans that they have to pay every month. You could probably change it up to every 3 months, every 4 months, twice a year, because when they get that lump sum, they can come in and pay. So we have asked them, I mean, it's up to the financial institution, but we have asked them, just as how NIS has gotten to the point where self-employed people paying NIS could come in and pay in chunks rather than every month. So that is on board. We have had 2 credit unions coming back to us immediately and saying, hey, you're going to get it under 5%. Probably closely around 4, under a little bit under 4%. So they're very close to what I'm talking about here. In the one that is $73,000, if you take it for 30 years, and they're willing to give 30 years, you will only pay at 3% $308
per month.
Per month.
Okay.
All right? But even at 4%, you'll be able to pay about just around $400 or a little less than that. All right? Per month. So it depends on where you are. If you tell the financial institutions that I could only pay $350, they will decide with the interest rate how many years they could give you for that. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. But we know for sure you can get up to 30 years. We know for sure all they're asking you for, like couple of the credit unions, is your job letter. And you, just as how you fill out in the bank, what are your liabilities? In other words, what are your expenses for the month?
Your budget.
Your budget, yeah. Right? Some might ask you to join, and others might not ask you to join. They just get it straight off.
Mr. Thomas, which financial institution or which bank in Grenada or banks would accept balloon payments of 3 times a year for mortgage? Just come back and just tell the people this bank will accept balloon payments 3 times a year for a mortgage.
And we only have 3 banks.
Because you see, they just continue to try to jackass the thing.
Kick the ball further down the road.
And tell us what amount of interest, if you paid $400 a month, what would be the interest, the ratio of interest to principal? Yeah. Because you come in and tell the people that, Mr. Thomas, So break it down. Don't just come and give figures here. Let me take the call.
Hello. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Master Carl, I have a question for you.
I'll answer if I could.
Okay. Now, if a person is working monthly, they're getting a monthly salary, let's say it's $300.
Yeah.
And they cannot pay, if they cannot pay the mortgage for the houses on a monthly basis, why is that guy talking about a lump sum? They can do it in 6 months, or they can make payments in let's say every 6 months. Where is the lump sum if they cannot pay $300 in a month? Where is the lump sum coming from?
They think everybody's stupid.
No.
That's what they believe. They believe everybody's stupid.
They will go in blast and gamble.
But that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. Ah, wow. It's a business.
And here how the thing turn comedy. They paying fortnightly.
Yes.
But they want the person to balloon pay the mortgage by every 4 months.
More complications.
But ask him which institution in Grenada does accept balloon payments on mortgages. Mr. Thomas, come back on GBN and tell the people this institution, this one go accept payments by lump sum. I don't know why they just doing the Grenadian public that. And you see
that's what they should negotiate first before they come talking that foolishness.
And he mentioned NIS. Oh, look, NIS is doing so. NIS is doing that for payments from the individual. For example, the person who is doing self-employed. NIS is telling them, look, you can make your contribution every 3 months or so and everything. That's a whole completely different thing.
It's different.
You're talking about a mortgage comparing to a contribution.
In the first place, NIS was not created for loans.
Exactly.
NIS was created to pay people when they retire, not to give loans in the first place.
So when they start to do that, they were bringing up the retirement age, they might bring it up to 100 just now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, caller.
All right.
Have a wonderful.
But everyone hear this. Every 5 years, hold on, Igor. Every 5 years, the financial institution requests a fresh appraisal of your property because they don't want to use the valuation over 5 years. A reasonable valuator will charge approximately $1,000. Remember, the house must be insured for the life of the mortgage, and the insurance require a valuation to insure the house. Interest is calculated on a daily basis. So if you pay every 3 months, you have to pay more interest. All how this man and them doing this thing is like they feel people here stupid. Let me take the call.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, afternoon. And that lady that made that contribution early on as to the ownership of the houses, I mean, that's so timely. Yes? In that you're my neighbor, all right? And you want to do some repairs to your section, and I can't prevent you from doing it because that's your own, but it affects me. So what happens here? On the other hand, too, speaking about financing for the loan to purchase the apartment, so to speak, how about why didn't we make arrangement with GDB? Since they are so lenient with some of our citizens.
The morning GDB is for the ministers.
Citizen Williams and those others. Why can't we get GDB? Why is it that we run away from GDB all of a sudden? And GDB was giving so much, huge loans to do whatever. You know, so why couldn't we, as ordinary Grenadian, get a loan from GDB? Can you explain that, please?
But
Thank you.
listen this, sir. So, all this cock and bull, about 30 years there, when you realize, if you have 40 years, you can never get a 30-year mortgage. So the 30 years must be minus from 65. You know? So that means the oldest you could be to get 30 years is 35 years.
35 years.
So all of them and them telling people, you know.
Yeah, so that automatically disqualifies a number of persons. I mean,
and then they say the valuator cost is 1%. And the total cost of the value. These guys and them just come talking. And they just tell themselves, well, these people what don't know, so let me tell them anything. But the Prime Minister smart than them because he does make himself out of the place. So when you go and tell him that, he will say, oh, I don't know.
I don't want to feel yeah, no, but I mean, every step, these guys continue to make it difficult for Grenadians to acquire. They are putting us in deeper and deeper hole when it comes to those mortgages that they are encouraging people to go and take. You understand? But then again, as I said, they are targeting a particular section of person. Good afternoon and welcome. Yeah. Oh. Yes, you know, so they are directing these things to a particular section of persons, not those who it was intended for. And we must continue to ram that point home. Who were the houses intended for? And who are getting it?
And the insurance company is smiling. When you hear men talk now 30 years, they know well 30 years are some money from a weak one. Thunder!
Yeah.
The weak ones.
Robert, give us some insight on that insurance mortgage and so if you can. You know, give us an insight as to how much a homeowner would have to pay when incurring a loan and has to, you know, get insurance and so. Help us out. You know, let's educate the people as to what they are getting into. All right, if they are not yet into it. Because some people have already been in little more loans and so on. The criteria may be a little bit, you know, different. But a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, even if let's say 20 years.
So, Igwe, you are not a clip there for me? Yeah. Just clip it up, man.
And you should ask yourself, why does a nation have to wait till a foreign body give them buildings for home, and the nation can build it for themselves?
Well, not necessarily homes, houses. Yeah,
houses.
Because there's a difference between
a house and a home.
Yes.
Right? A nation's supposed to be able to take care of its at some level to take care of persons.
So I ask myself, why Mr. Thomas talking so much of stupidness?
I vex you. Right now, I vex bad blue.
Get stupidness. Like here, man. You know. Play the clip again and then play that. Hey.
And you should ask yourself, why does a nation have to wait till a foreign body give them buildings for home, and the nation can build it for themselves?
Well, not necessarily homes, houses. Yeah,
houses.
Because there's a difference between
a house and a home.
Yes.
Right? A nation's supposed to be able to take care of its at some level to take care of persons.
Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, caller. Caller, call back.
Yeah.
Carl,
hey.
Listening to that clip in terms of that loan, this man is talking about it for people to get it. Where you getting the money? In the penny bank? They go in the penny bank and get the money? Not from it can't be from the Republic Bank and them. Not his bank.
This guy.
This guy don't know what he's talking about, man.
They believe that the population is stupid people. You know why? Because all the lies they tell to people and they vote for them. So they believe only gullible people here have living here. So they could tell you anything.
Who will give them money? When? Which bank? Which bank will do that by doing what he's saying it? This man, you are right there.
No.
Even the man, even that man on the GBN, listen to that man when he talking about how why letting foreign people build houses for us. This man was on GBN saying that.
Yeah, on GBN.
And GBN.
So
now
listen.
Look at people on GBN.
I don't know. He sound like a guy who has been on GBN. I don't know.
Yeah, it was on GBN.
I don't know.
And the host what on GBN is an intelligent guy.
I don't know.
This man top his brain. Why no, boy, Grenada get worse. And they see me Grenada stupidly. They make us do a
They believe everybody stupidly.
But I don't understand. This government and them just come in and lie and lie and lie. You remember in that same thing they said, oh, they have already talked to the institution and them, and they agree with this.
We know that not true.
No, you come in and tell story. Nah, boy. By God taking note. God taking note for these men and what they telling lies for Grenadians.
The Grenadian public should take note too.
And I read, watch me, Clive, I ready for them to go in. They say they having whatever they're doing in the morning, not gone, but once they're using the right procedure, are there. I ready my flag, I ready my boss, I ready my car, whatever they're going with. Because them don't care about Grenada. For you to come and lie for Grenada in the kind of aspect. Huh? What is men doing that to the popular boy?
All right,
never do the popular. Give them the house, and they'll pay what they have. Because we know the people are working for big money in Grenada. But don't worry, twine longer than twine. Time longer than twine. Come back.
Time will tell.
Have a good day, man.
Yes. Master Carl, I want to just...
Don't want to, they want to it. Why you want to do
This
it?
gentleman, when he made a statement, let's take the call.
On the WhatsApp.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes,
Now,
good afternoon.
I'd like to ask the gentlemen who are hosting the program, like maybe a couple questions. I've been watching the program. I don't think you are answering some of the questions that are being asked. Now, the caller a while ago asked the question, why isn't GDP an option? What was your answer to that question? Because you said a lot of stuff, but you didn't answer the question.
GDP is for the government ministers.
That's not the answer to the question.
Well,
that's a ridiculous answer because that is not factual.
Okay.
Hold on. Factual.
Hold on. It is factual.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you
So
a question.
let me
I
answer
didn't call
you.
for the gimmicks.
Let me answer you.
I did not call for the gimmicks.
So listen
Now,
for the
I don't know
answer.
if you guys-
They want do back at flying board. She know Andy get millions from GDP. She know Lacroix get millions from GDP. How that is not factual? Doubt that.
That one is a stupid one.
Doubt the fact that Andy Williams and Lacroix did not get money from GDP. Doubt that.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Devon.
They doesn't brief them good before they call.
Good afternoon, Master Carl, and good afternoon, Igwe.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
Devon, I addressing this one to you. I want you to help me out with this one, Devon.
Yes, go ahead.
Going to a financial institution, to secure a loan, to build a house, or to buy a house. No, land is involved, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Now, the financial institution will want the documents for the land if they are going to issue that loan. Okay?
Yeah.
That land document becomes collateral or part collateral to that loan. Now, as it relates to the people that have to go to the financial institutions to secure a $55,000 or $73,000 loan to purchase these houses, apartment, condo, as how they call it. Who has the title deed for the land on which this apartment, house, condo is being built? Who is the owner of this title deed on the land on which we have these houses, being built.
Housing,
please help me with that, please. Thank you.
Housing Authority. Housing Authority would have claim over the land. Now, when it comes to the bank, once the bank get involved, right, the bank is taking the risk in basically giving you a loan to buy an apartment. Okay? Land is not involved based on what I understand. It is just, they are taking the risk just to buy that apartment, whether it's a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, right? So in terms of the collateral, what they will basically get in to secure that loan would be, I guess, one, your job letter, right? Or the financial institution will ask you for somebody or some other guarantee.
A guarantor.
Right, a guarantor or a guarantee, some other guarantee for that particular loan.
The latest thing they say they go guarantee.
Do you think the bank would take that risk? You said it's a risk. Do you think the bank would take that risk?
Well,
knowing
it depends.
Knowing Housing Authority has the document the document for the land on which this apartment is being built.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
because let's look at it. The people get the loan. They fail to pay the loan. The bank wants to seize the building. Housing Authority say the land is mine.
You see, the
Where do we
bank,
go from here?
the bank would only, for example, one person in a building, which houses, let's say 10 persons, 10 tenants. One person is not paying, right? And the bank decides to take back. The bank have no authority over the entire building, but only that apartment.
Yeah, but Devon, you have to realize one of the things that are happening here with these
Yeah, it's
people.
only one the bank has authority over one apartment. Okay? So if the bank say that apartment is mine, the bank is claiming that apartment.
Exactly. Not the
The
land.
bank is claiming that apartment. Housing is saying the land is mine.
Caller, we speaking rational here. The intention by this government is for people not to get the house.
Exactly. For they never own.
Exactly. Because we know it is for the people of low income. Okay?
But
people who have the money will be able to pay cash.
Well, let me put that in perspective. They give you a letter, they tell you either go to the National Insurance Scheme, a commercial bank. They still have GDP on it, or the credit union. But listen this. In recent times, they saying how they're going to be the guarantor. But if they're willing to be the guarantor, and a guarantor only comes in because the people believe you might not pay for delinquency. So why cause somebody to pay 2.5 times the value of the house by being a guarantor, and they could have just let them pay you?
Exactly.
Why?
That's the massacre.
Excuse.
Massacre, and it's only because we are stupid.
So when they talk all this cock and bull and still have people who are trying to defend them, I feel so sad. Because if you could be a guarantor, why make some, like for a house of $170,000 at the end of 30 years, no, for 70,000 at the end of 30 years you're paying $175,000. Why let you pay that $105,000 if you so care?
These people intention is only come with something and see how easy, hard, anyhow you want to put it. They could push it down our throat. We open our mouth, they push it down and we close our mouth.
But let me tell you, let me give you the answer to all of this. The first clip you play today with the Prime Minister, play it again. That's the answer to all of that.
We are committed to building, and when I say we, it doesn't mean the government has to build it, but we have to facilitate that to ensure it happens. At least 500 Grenadian homes to help with the housing situation in Grenada. Again, we view the housing as an area that the diaspora, particularly from an investment perspective, can get involved in. Because we know many of you who want to come home don't want to deal with the challenges of having to buy the land yourself, deal with the lawyers, deal with the banks, deal with the contractors, and construct the home. You'd prefer to actually have the home built so that you can simply walk in and buy the home. And we believe there's a real opportunity here, both from an investment and from a use of technology point of view, to begin the process of transforming the housing stock in Grenada. So I certainly want to invite you again to look at getting involved and investing in this area. It is not.
Master Carl.
Yeah,
Master Carl,
you hear the
final
reason?
thing.
That
Yes,
is the
Master
reason.
Carl, final thing. Somebody must advise the PM that he must think before he speak. Somebody must come out and do that. Advise him that he must think before he speak. Because when he speak, the things what he say come around and haunt him. Somebody must advise him that he must think before he speak.
And they should also tell here and Mr. Telesford, if the government becomes the guarantor, that adding to the national debt, If the government becomes the guarantor, that adds to the national debt.
Exactly.
Millions of dollars.
Exactly. And where are we with that? Master Carl, continue with the program.
No, they believe people don't listen what they say.
Yeah, we don't listening.
They didn't.
And we stupid.
What happened to them now? They thought they would just do people what they want and nobody would say nothing.
They have just come and shove that one down we throat. We open our mouth, we swallow it, and that's it.
So that is the crux of the matter. They need money.
Yeah, man.
To build Grenadian style homes. So what best take it out on the poor people children?
Them mail money
Because the house done too good for them, so let me dangle the carrot in front of them.
Yeah, Master Carl. Okay, Master
All right, take care.
You know, when we say...
Right. They keep calling the wrong number.
Well, tell them the number to call.
4420175 is the number to call, folks. I could hear you guys calling the front desk. We won't answer that phone.
Give them the number.
4420175.
I usually don't do that, Devon. But for the lady what they call and talking about this thing and get you information. Because when when you call that station, you have to come good.
Yes,
you don't come no half cock.
Yeah, don't come with this stupid.
Tell them brief you good and understand what you want to ask. Don't come here with this utter nonsense. Because I will put you straight. I will listen to you. But I will put you straight too. So go back and tell them what. Who saying you tell them it didn't work out.
Nobody.
But you call back.
But I want to react.
No one to there when I tell you.
Come on, Master Carl. No, Master Carl. That's how you do it. I do it differently. Right? Watch. To that lady, right, who made that comment, I want to tell you, right, that when we say that GDB is for the government, some of the government ministers, we can give you the facts. It is truthful, factual, that one particular minister, Andy Williams, got over $2 million as a loan from the Grenada Development Bank. No, that millions of dollars that he got as a loan could have guaranteed persons, more than perhaps 50, 100 persons to get those houses that was supposed to be for them.
Yes.
They didn't have to go to no financial institution. GDB is there. Right? Put the money in GDB, guarantee that loan for them to go there, but instead, one or two ministers is getting millions of dollars, and you have persons who want a $50,000 or $70,000 to get a house and they can't get it. Garbage.
Next clip, Gates.
So as we go down the road, we would see that ownership of the units from the start is the way to go. We would transfer into your hands over 60 an equity or wealth directly into your hands immediately as you purchase these units. We are asking people to do one of two things. Come, if you have the full amount, you could come to the housing authority and buy it straight from the housing authority. If you don't, then you will need a loan from any of the financial institutions. The Housing Authority of Grenada contacted the financial institutions before, and they are on board, and they're eager and they're willing. They are going to be offering loans. We had suggested at 3%, and it will go from maybe between 3 and 5%. But we really got the assurance from some that they would stick to the 3%. The cost of a single one-bedroom unit is $55,000.
Yeah? Yeah, Devon?
These.
Play that clip again. Now play that clip
And
again.
the cost of a single 2-bedroom unit is $73,000. So, in the previous interview, a previous press conference that we had, we told you that the people in the low-income housing units in phase 1 paid between $135 to $400 per unit. And it varied because of the style and the type. What we are saying to you here is that if you get a loan, for the person who owns the 1-bedroom unit at $55,000, at 3%, a 20-year loan is only $305 in that vicinity. And a 30-year loan would be $232. And here's the beauty of it. Traditionally, we went with loans up to 20 years, maybe 25, but now we can go to loans up to 30 years. And that gives people an opportunity to have a lower monthly cost. Imagine at less than $10 a day, you could own your own unit. So in this, let me give you the other example. For the $73,000 home, at 3%, 20 years, you'll be paying around $405. I mean, the bank have a little charges that they add on to it, but not significantly. And at 30 years, that person will be paying $308. Again, even at owning a 2-bedroom unit outright, this is a wonderful deal. So you see that the price that they are paying is very similar to the price that they would have paid in the low-income unit in that range for an apartment that is better in both size and quality of build. Although the apartment is they are paying $55,000 and $73,000, it has been marked down by 55%. The government has marked it down by 55%. In the previous phase 1, the information getting to us is that it was marked down by 50%. So the government has marked it down even further, and from what we have seen inside the apartment, it is actually built better.
We have a call, Devon.
Good afternoon and welcome. Hello?
Oh, I definitely call back as you seem as if you have something that you wish to say to me. So the gentleman shaking your head, that's not the manner in which you. I call the program, you entertain me. This is not an NNP program, it's an independent talk. I am an independent talker, and I call the program. No, the point you made earlier, that was very misleading. The gentleman called, he said, why is it that GDP is not an option? No, that's incorrect. You are entitled to your own opinion. If you feel as if, which is not factual, because if you cannot, 15 ministers, you cannot use one minister to make such a bold statement to say that the GDP is only for the government ministers. No, that minister was a member of that bank from long before he became a minister. He is a citizen of Grenada. His personal business is not my business. Ministers in the NNP have loans from all different banking institutions. That's not my business.
Not GDB though.
And let me
That's not my business. That is not my business. There isn't anything that says that he cannot. There is not anything that says that he cannot. Hold on.
No. Because you say
there is nothing that says that. First of all, that person. Listen to me. Your program is very noisy. That person that is speaking at the background, it's very noisy. I'm hearing banging and stuff. I can barely hear what you're saying.
Let me ask you. Let me tell you that, right? Listen. No, you listen.
No. Listen to me.
Well, if you don't want to listen to us, then we have to cut you off. You have to listen.
So, Shinjaje, You
have to listen. You understand? Because there are things that you're saying that are not correct. Because, and I'll enlighten you, right? As a public officer or a government minister, right, sitting in government, the law bars them from accessing loans from the Grenada Development Bank. The purpose, right, for the bank is for small business persons, majority of it is farmers and agriculture. The bank is not for the personal piggy bank of a minister sitting in government. The law clearly states that.
And Latoya know that.
You
so
understand?
I know what she's trying.
So if you want,
Latoya know that.
Come on, you need to do better than that.
She know that.
Don't call her too stupid, he said.
You need to know that. And it's not one minister that access loans. We just mentioned that one in particular, right? And which is illegal. Get that straight. Good afternoon and welcome.
Afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, so I am very much in a rush, but I just want to make one simple comment. I've listened for the last maybe half an hour, and repeatedly I heard that after the bank pays the housing authority for the house or the unit, that it becomes the wealth or the property of the homeowner or the person who lives in that house. Please let us clarify that.
Sure.
It becomes the property of the bank or the lending institution.
Thank you.
Until the individual is complete with their payment. So that can be in the next 20 years or the next 30 years. I just wanted to clarify that, or if it was explained before, to emphasize that, because I repeatedly hear, I mean, there are so many things I don't want to go into at this time. I don't have the time right now. But what I'm saying is, let's repeating that we are putting wealth into the hands of people because a bank or a credit union decides to make an advance payment on their behalf. The reality is, and we see it all the time, not just in this program, there are many people who never have that wealth transferred into their hand, because you may find a case where the bank may end up selling it, the bank may end up owning it, whatever the lending institution. So it is now a process that even if a bank will use that as security for anything, so why use the word putting wealth in a person's hand immediately? That's the impression, and I'm hearing that repeated in some of the clips that you're playing. The impression that I'm getting, I'm listening over and over and over. We putting wealth into your hands. We're transferring wealth into your hands, and I'm getting the impression that it's given as an impression that people immediately have this wealth in their hands, and that is not going to be the case until the 20 years or the 30 years after they finish. And now they have a document in their hand to say, yes, you own that property. So on top of all that you find, which is excellent, I just felt that that part to make it a little clearer.
All right, okay.
One day, the bank pays for one of the units. That unit does not belong to the person on whose behalf they paid. It becomes the property of the bank until such time that the person is finished making that payment. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
But
and thanks for
that's something
reiterating
they
that.
call the electronic footprints. They call in here and say they're independent. But on the electronic footprints, they're saying, yes, I'm very much a supporter of the NDC, so they want to come here and say they're independent. Cock and bull.
Stupidness.
Real stupidness.
And the last caller, you got a call?
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all the gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Now, I may sound a little bit harsh, but that's just how I feel.
Is it fire to purify?
No, people supposed to make a mistake once, not twice. Now, if you make a mistake this year, today you're not supposed to go back and make that mistake another day. No, we sit down and we keep crying out for the poor people. Yes, I understand. But these are the same people that go and vote in NDC. So we sit down and we keep crying for them. No, let's have a little, say like, okay, we're going now and we say we have a little demonstration. You think these people are them coming out and speak for themselves? No, they're not coming. They're sitting down there and they expect somebody to cry for them. Now let another election come. These same people are going back and vote for NDC again. You vote in 2008, you see what NDC do, you come back this time, you vote them back in, and then you want people to be crying. Watch, I do sorry for the people, because I find Grenadians too wicked and too stupid, according to them that need, because I don't understand that. Sometimes I sit down and I listen. I just get vexed sometimes when I hear this kind of thing on them, because I can't imagine how you could be. You see what happened in 2008? We see people crying with their bawling with their hand on their head. You go back and vote them in again. And then you have to sit down here now and making all kind of things for them again. Let's have a demonstration and see how much of them coming out. None of them not coming out. All of them sit down home. And then another election come, they go take bride again. And they go back and vote for NDC. So how we go sorry for them? But I don't sorry for the people. This parents take what they get, no man.
Okay, Carla. Well, so Igwe, tell them when they call the station here, and they're trying to call to disrupt, they should stick to the farming in foreign lands. And let the Grenadian people do the thing. I haven't gone nowhere. I haven't left here and gone nowhere. So stick to your farming in foreign lands. Don't come here and try to disrupt things. Yes, Devon.
Well, just to answer our last caller, it is something, the caller just hold on a while. It is something that we are here to do. We're not giving up on nobody.
No one left behind.
If we have to repeat the truth, the facts, every day we will do it until people understand that what this government is doing is being worthless and not caring for its people. We will continue doing it every day if we have to do it. Let's take the call, Gates. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. I listened to that young lady that called about the loan at GDB Bank. Now,
which young lady?
Big woman, the one that was talking there about.
She in Jamaica talking that stupidness.
Yes. Okay. Let me see what I have to say.
Yeah.
Now I work with Gary government come right down up to 2019. Right? I work with every government. It's only this government that I did not work with.
Thank God.
Now that the Grenada Development Bank, I remember when my father was in that bank. Right, and it was for the farmer, and people who want to go and get a loan to do some small business or so. Anyhow, the bank was, I have to say, it was spread out during the time of NMP government. I'm afraid to say that under NMP government. Now, NMP was there for the last term there, and the loans was meant to be for small business and the farmers and people who want to buy a piece of land or to build a house up to 350,000, I think. That is what I know, right? So this government come in and they go in and borrow about $1 million and something dollars and how much and whatever it is. So I don't know where this young lady get her facts from. She better go and search and get some find out the thing about the Grenada development, the laws or whatever it is. Right? But I think what she's saying there, the facts that she have there, it's wrong. And she better go to do some research. Thank you.
Thanks very much for your contribution. And one of the callers made mention, we have to continue reiterating to persons that Minister Telesford and the chairman of the board, it continues to lie for the people in terms of telling them about transfer of property immediately to them. It's a lie, and that will never happen until 20 or 30 years. Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Them people in Subies will come out on the show line or get in the house if they have to pay too, because my sister not tell me she didn't have to pay in an empty time.
Okay.
Tell me that she didn't have to pay because she come out on the show line. I want to know if they have to pay too.
Okay, my dear. Thanks for that reminder. And that post, that. All right, thank you very much. That caller made a point. Those houses in Subies, part of those houses, right, were given to persons who was on the shoreline, right, that were affected in case like storm surge, tsunami. They had to move them, right? Those persons did not have to pay, right? And people must understand that. Right, they did not have to pay because remember you're moving them from where they were, right, squatting or whatever and everything for years, and you move them and bring them up to a housing. Basically, you give it to them. That is what these houses are for. Good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon to y'all three gentlemen. What I want to say here is, Devon, I think I need your apology for your braveness and your consistency in telling the people about the 2 days cannot walk. And you were so right.
Thanks very much.
Yes. And I want to say something too. You see, the still bringing the candlelight. You see, Devon, the still bring in the candlelight. These people have the thing going on with.
They jump in the thing.
Go on. Yes, not them jumping the thing. They have the agenda. But God have a better agenda. Let's leave that there for now.
Thank you.
A lot of noises in the all background, you know. Okay, another thing I want to speak about is so loud. Mr. Andy, he did the Lagoon Road. I'm a Belmont woman, and people know my voice. I want to ask him to ask the who's the man in the Lagoon Road with the yachting business. Now they took our playground, and we pan house there. Now the guys are looking to establish back our pan house. I think Andy, need to go to him. He's the man of implementation. I would like him to go. And I'm going to tell them guys who going up in spring in the pan house, go to Andy and let him go with the management in the Lagoon Road and tell the man he owes a pan house and he owes a recreation ground. If he's so good, let me see that come into play. And I asking another question, what happened to the poor guy who was doing the soup around the area? Devon, did he give him a place?
Well, the soup master, I'm not too sure what is the situation with him now, if they relocate him or something else. But what I've noticed a small wooden building close to the big building where the FedEx is. Small, I don't know if that's his. But his original location, he was moved. He was promised a different spot or help, but I've not, I will follow up on that and give you that.
I'm just concerned because how they're treating we people. These people, and another question I want to ask, did the Prime Minister and them come to having gala? That is how we rule in Grenada. Gala and top gala.
They eating our food.
Let me say one thing, I was listening. Hold on. I was listening to them yesterday, and all these people, guys, coming and congratulating the man and telling them people how well they're doing. And Mr. Forrester is such a nice man, echoing all them things. All these people in Grenada suffering and crying. I'm crying myself. All these people, they take them old people money. How you could telling these people that money doing well? Then people better stop them my wetness.
I like the word, my wetness.
More my wet. Okay, my dear. Thanks very much for your contribution, and have a wonderful evening. Yeah, it's
Gates, you don't with us,
No, I'm
Bring it.
Bring it. Run the code.
Files are real files
man.
around here.
Drop the files.
Selected applicants will be contacted by the authority to visit our office first to collect the notice of offer to purchase. The applicant will then be required to seek financing to confirm the purchase of the unit, or if they have the finance, they can arrange for direct purchase from HHE. I repeat, you will be required to seek financing to confirm the purchase of the unit, or you can arrange for direct purchase from HHE if your financing is available. So it means that collecting the notice of offer to purchase does not guarantee purchase of the unit. A meeting was held between the authority, the banks, and other financial institutions on September 22nd, 2023. Insurance brokers were also present, who were all on board with us with the financing process. So there is nothing for the potential homeowners to worry about. The banks are already on board. The credit unions are on board. The lending institutions and insurance brokers are already on board. So we have received notification from some of these institutions that they would be providing low-cost interest rates ranging from between 3 and 5%. The loans will also be backed by and guaranteed by the Housing Authority of Grenada. So any loan that is issued by the financial institution will be guaranteed by the Housing Authority of Grenada. The insurance brokers have also expressed their interest in working with the providers of insurance to seek the most competitive rates for our prospective homeowners, because we will all agree that purchasing a home will also require you to get insurance.
So she sit down in the same meeting with Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas says some are the financial on board. She telling us all. So they lie, she lie there.
Yeah. And
so if the housing authority, this thing sounds so, as my good friend KB says, so ramgotish. The housing authority will guarantee the loan. So, like the housing authority join up with the bank and them for them to make money.
Well,
because if you guarantee the loan, why don't let people just pay you for the house?
I was about to say, this whole thing, you see where the transfer of power and money goes? From even the government is transferring the land, right? The land on where these properties lies to the bank. So all the power is going to the financial institutions. The persons who are going for the loan, as the caller rightly reiterated, the wealth is not going to the owners until 20 or 30 years. The banks are the ones that holding on to these documents and use it to make money over the years.
Devon, when you is the guarantee or guarantor of a loan, it means if the person is in default, you will step in. So, is it the housing authority know that some of these people are going to default, so they say as the guarantor to take back the house for themselves? Because once it's the guarantor and you could pay, it's yours. Or,
but what if they can't, the housing authority?
Or, why be the guarantor when you, one of the basis for you telling them to go and take a loan, you believe they won't pay. You believe it is delinquency. But you guaranteeing delinquency.
That's puzzling.
And then you know when you take a loan, the $70,000 they have to pay. After they don't pay for 30 years, they pay $175,000. Why make them pay that extra $100,000 if you guaranteeing it?
Follow the money.
This thing sounds like stupidness to me.
Who getting all the money? Everything goes to the financial institutions.
Somebody, you understand? They might hear somebody walking there.
They have to have, because when I hear about, they say about 2 credit unions on board, I would glad to know that our credit unions pay. If it's like that, get involved so the wealth could stay among
Grenadians and so, but I mean the foreign banks is a whole nother situation. Good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon. Okay, we lose that call. You know, so they continuing to try to mama guide people, right? So if, as you say, if they are the guarantor of the loans, my God, and if they say, you know what, so and so amount of persons has been delinquent, government cannot afford to pay it, let the financial institution take it. So they continue to give wealth to the financial institution.
Transfer wealth to the financial institution.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
That clip that just played there, this is directly to the person whom the Prime Minister described as being on contract, and he said that he will make them permanent. If they are not yet made permanent, this clip is exactly for them. This clip is exactly for them, because the financial institution would not give them a loan knowing that any time the employment can be terminated.
Exactly.
So this clip that you just played there is exactly for the persons who are on contract, and the Prime Minister have not yet, up to this time, make them permanent by the stroke of his pen. Persons listening, take note. You have to learn to listen, understand, and interpret.
Disqualification.
Because they're telling you that, okay, because in the same clip, she says that, okay, you would get the letter, you would get whatever it was, she said, to show that you're getting the houses. But it is not guaranteed that you would get the loan. So they're telling you that, okay, you want a house, you apply for it, we go through everything, yes, we tell you, yes, you can get it, but getting the money to pay for it, you will not get it.
That's why they give out thousands of letters.
Because you don't have a permanent job.
And
exactly.
That's why they give out the thousands of letters, so they know.
They know very well that persons would not get it.
Exactly.
Caller.
I'm saying again, listening, understanding, and being able to interpret what these people are saying is very, very, very important.
Caller. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
When the people brought Jesus to Pontius Pilate, Pontius Pilate said, I don't find no fault in him. And he washed his hands clean. So by giving the people the letter, they wash their hands clean.
Yes.
So what he's saying, we give you a letter, we don't care what happened after that.
You're responsible for anything thereafter.
Unless you bring the money. That's how they treat our people.
The only thing I can do, tell my people, don't just hear, listen. Listen and try and understand. If you don't, try and get somebody to explain it to you. That they could trick people.
Caller, just before you go.
They won't be able to trick all.
Caller, just before you go. On the days of the plantation, is black man or used to be black man?
Yes.
Black man used to go and bring news from Massa and black man.
Black man that destroy black man.
Black man when Massa sick used to say, we sick you. So the same set of people that give them that power, they turn around and beating them up like sap and they eating the children. The same set of people that give them the power. Because here what they going to tell them, we going to make you permanent. They lie. You will get pension. They don't work in no way. But they believe they will get pension. So,
and if they don't, if my Grenadian people don't learn now, sorry to say, they will not learn again.
So I'm here just to give the people information as I see. What they do with it is a matter entirely for them.
Because one of the callers before said, all these things that are happening now, it happened in 2008. They go back and repeat it, they put them again in charge.
Yep.
So if they don't learn, they didn't learn from 2008, you think they will learn from
Caller.
to? No. They
Ju-
want to do it again.
Just before you go, Carla, remember lawyers have to prepare the mortgage document and other costs.
Yeah, yeah.
Look to see which law firm eating that food.
Listening, understanding, and if you can, get somebody who knows a little about it to explain it. Because
No, Carla, let me see the law firm, the Housing Authority of Grenada, go engage. Let me watch to see which law firm or who the law firm are ties to. Don't take my word for it. Watch and see which law firm will be engaged to prepare the mortgage document.
Which is the most popular law firm in Grenada now?
Time alone will tell.
Which is the most popular law firm in Grenada now?
Democracy watching.
Authority have a problem in getting a law firm. You know, the law firm is always there, you know.
Watch and see the law firm. The Housing Authority Grenada would engage to do the mortgage document. Let me watch.
Housing Authority don't engage that long already.
Let me watch.
You don't know that as yet, but Housing Authority doing what they have to do already in that law firm.
All right, thank you again.
Bad.
All right. I want to say to a lot of detractors, a lot of persons who continue to say, right, that NNP, right, sold out the birthright of Grenada over the years and sold out this. But I just want to show that today and for other persons to pay attention to where I'm going. Now, in 1992, NDC was in power. They sold NCB Bank. Later on, in that 5-year term, they sold Grenlec. Now, I'm not talking about the other bank yet, RBTT. Right? Because remember, Grenada owned 2 of those banks. RBTT, where its name, and NCB. Now, when you look at the assets, right, of these 2 entities over the years, we have seen that the NDC government, while in office, had sold out properties that amassed billions of dollars over the years.
I have some for you to listen to. It's for both of volume.
Agree. As a retired inspector of police, they taught me some 36 years ago, observation is the taking in and recording of mental notes by the use of the senses, the ability to assess facts carefully and accurately, and memory to recall them. And I take my training very seriously. Listening to our now Prime Minister, he have said to avoid corruption among ministers of government, they ought to be paid highly. They ought to be paid good. So to avoid corruption. So my question is, taking his statement made in light of giving his ministers more money so that they will avoid being in corruption, how about the public servants that are low-income owners that are now have to take a loan of $75,000+ to pay for these units? Is he saying that these people will not go into corruption?
Wow, that's food for thought right there.
Are they here?
You're next one?
They will call back because I didn't know it cut.
Yeah, the one you're saying.
Yeah, and I was now these assets, and I was good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, well, good afternoon. In relation to this housing authority, probably lawyers or whoever it is a lawyer. To the best of my knowledge, when they had their, their press conference, the lawyers was there. Apparently, it is a person from a law firm on Lucas Street.
Wilkinson.
So, yeah. I don't think it's anything to do with the government. So it's not them that the people, government people. I'm not saying you all say that, but I'm just telling you, the law firm is not associated with anybody in government. In relation to this house again too, I'm still of the opinion that even though 75,000 and 50,000 is out of the question, I have no problem with that. I say that. And maybe 20 or 30,000. And I'm still of the opinion that people must pay. Because the high rate of, as a matter of fact, you have people that never paid from since they got inside there. And the high rate of non-compliance and bad loans, and when you look at the IMF report too, is the same thing, not only with housing, but all about it. It's the same thing. People just bad pay. So I'm still of the opinion, yes. But then there must be a compromise now, because if they can't make it, they definitely can't make it. And I think we have to get our priorities right. So you all, Grenada, might have to do like Dominica, right? Find the money. If they have infrastructure weaknesses or to be corrected or whatever the case is, you're going to find money. All governments must find money to do all this and do that all kind of thing. They got to get the priorities right and give these houses free, because to the low-income people or the poor people. So I'm just saying, to solve that problem, that is what they're going to have to do. So because the NNP accusing NDC of making money off the gift, and vice versa, and it's a gift. So do like Dominica. Cut a long story short. Check on your priorities. Cut back where you can. Fix the people and give those houses free. To avoid all of that. Secondly, in relation to the GDB, the Grenada Development Bank, I understand what you're all saying. It is alleged that those people get this and that and the other. I have no doubt. I'm not saying that you're all not credible, because if it is true that these people secure loans in violation of the rules, it's wrong. But the GDB also gives a lot of loans, because I could say my nephew definitely, he got a loan recently to go to the university to do something to do with biometrics or something like that. And then the manager was on television with Byron Campbell and Christy Ali the other night, and he was talking about all the different loans and the different things that GDB has been doing. So GDB is a bank that giving all different loans, not necessarily to one set of people. Let me just clarify that. And finally, you know, NNP have a good support outside. You all have a lot of support outside. That's a fact. But you know what? You all have to have the testicular fortitude to tell Keith Mitchell that you need to organize the party properly. Get it organized, as he say. You need to reorganize the party. Get it. He said he go in if you want to stay. It's not nothing to do with me. One for the road. Get a leader, because to tell you the honest truth, it shouldn't be a problem, because he has been there for 40-something years. And if they're having a problem with the leader, ask NDC, because NDC, like to me, they have them leaders stockpile. But the bottom line is, yeah, they have them stockpile. Ask Keith Mitchell, ask NNP to help you. But the bottom line is that he has a lot of support outside that you can't. There's no doubt about it. So that is what you have to do. Have the convention, call the convention, organize the party properly, and get things going. But right now, as it's so you could sit down there and talk, like say, Keith Mitchell, you have to get that party properly organized. As you say, not me if I hear correctly, I stand to be corrected. Get the party in place. How solid the pillars should be strong. So then what is your problem?
All right, Miss Anne-Marie.
Right, okay, so...
You're silly enough, so listen now. The loan in GDB, you see people getting, but the ordinary person don't get in $1 million. So that's a difference. So whether your cousin get, your nene get, they don't get in $1 million. They don't get in $2 million. And the persons that get in the rules clearly say if you're sitting as a representative in the Senate or in the House, you're not qualified for. So whether they get 500, they're not qualified for. And you should know that, because you work in banking circles. You should know that the loan they put in the people through and the interest on the payment, you should know that. So, is the government doing a right thing? Remembering it was a gift, and remembering after Ivan and Emily, the discussion for those houses was one because they knew the people who needed it could not go to a bank. And you talk about dough paying, remember, you see, this dough paying thing is not being discussed in the right way. There are some people who have been removed from what they call vulnerable areas on the seacoast. The intention was for them not to pay. They could go and find out that. So these people, when they were sent in these houses, I think in Subis and them only, The intention was for them not to pay. And that is a fact.
Replacement house.
That has nothing to do with NNP and NDC. Because see, everybody know when this government do something they want to talk about is because of NDC. Doing what they do in the people in the houses has nothing to do. And you heard the clips with Mr. Thomas and them. And based on what they're saying and your experience in banking, you ought to know the talking stupidness, Mr. Anne-Marie. You ought to know the talking stupidness because you been in the banking and what they're telling people, you know or should know that is just cock and bull. The intention, you heard the clip of the Prime Minister about building 500 houses and they have to find money so there are easy way of getting $40 million. And you know that. So, it's not about NNP or NDC, it's about the right and the wrong. It's about what the moral man would do and what the ethical man would do. It's nothing to do with NNP and NDC. The houses was negotiated for people who could not approach a financial institution. So why when the house ready, you put in the same people to go and face a situation what you negotiated against for them? So the after Ivan and Emily, and watch, this thing with the national, because when they came in 2008 and Devon could bear me out, they tell the Chinese, we don't want the 2,000 house. Give us 1,000 and some money. They lose election. And Dr. Keith Mitchell and them say they build the house for the people. They come back now and persecuting the people for the house. So what it happened? They had to pay, and they had to pay gift from the Chinese. And it was negotiated for the same people who could not face a financial institution. So why make them go there now when it was negotiated for them otherwise? That is the crux of the matter. It's not who we like and who we don't like. It's about what is right and what is wrong. So if they negotiate for you and you're changing the goalpost in the middle of the game, I cannot support that and you should not support that either. Right,
hey, after Massacre, yeah, when you check what this government is doing, they're sending the people in the bank. We didn't know definitely that people would able to get the loan. So you could come down like you know the government is the bank. Is the bank what is qualified them for not getting the loan. So you have where the government is just playing games with the people's mind. Right? Come and tell the people the truth. Come and tell them definitely based on your salary while working fine, you don't work, you will never get a loan. But they don't tell them that. But they keep them. Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, they keep lying for the green people, right? Because you have where the government, from time we come in government, they continue to lie for the people. And why they doing this? Because they lie for the people and they win the election, so they continue to lie. Like they become strangers to the truth, brother.
The truth about that not in them.
Right?
The truth about that not.
Why you don't speak the truth? I think that you have people preaching the word of God. People call us pastors preaching the word. And you come out to church today, you will preach the word of God. But what are you doing? You're going against the same word of God you preach today.
Yeah, all right, Carl. All right, thank you. And what, Miss Anne-Marie, what you should know again, you work in bank. The bank has to get their own lawyer to prepare the mortgage. So don't tell me you had lawyers there in the meeting. You know the bank had to get their own lawyers separate from the housing authority. Let's take the call.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Not too bad, my friend.
Bro!
I find we talking too much, you know. We need action.
No, the time will come. Everything happening in fullness of time.
No, we need action in truth. We need action. We have to take all these people and them there. They have to come out there either by good or by bad.
Israel had to go to war. And they bring some men down by the river to test them. Some men shove down their head in the water. And they say, no, go back home. Those that remain vigilant. So we're seeking the vigilance, you know. Because we don't want to have too much casualties. What go happen, go up. I know you're ready.
All right,
like Freddy. All right.
Right.
Yeah, they want so they know. This whole thing, they will ask the question, watch to see who the lawyers, because they know the bank and them have their own lawyers and thing.
Yeah, the bank will definitely.
You see, you have so much things they don't tell people about that thing. They just telling you, go to a financial institution and XYZ. But you have a lot of things you have to tell the person.
I'm going to clip you.
Before you touch that clip, I want to reiterate something, because it's my constituency, and I must show some support for the persons of Soubise and other areas that were given a spot in the housing in Soubise, in Chinese Hill, and they did not have to pay. It's on record. So what the housing authority is doing when they talk about the delinquent and young persons
and 40% in Soubise,
and young persons who have never paid, right, and everything like that, they are not telling the people out there. They are just lumping everybody together and making the nation believe that the delinquent payment in that thing is because of people not paying. But they are not telling persons that a lot of persons were put there and they do not have to pay a dime because of the situation where they were taken out.
Yeah, they're not telling people
right
that.
from the city. They're not telling people like that, but they're just talking about delinquencies, who do paying. But they're including these people too. Tell them to break it down for you, and you will find out. You'll see who telling a lie. So the people of Soubise, who have the right to be there and do not have to pay, don't. And if they come after you, all take a lawyer to get this thing straightened out. Because you were removed from an area and put in a safer area.
You thought nobody would know. Igwe.
You wicked.
You have calls?
No. But I have a clip.
Well, bring it. Come with it.
All. And we have been speaking about the whole question of giving you a unit. And when we speak of a unit, we mean a condominium unit pursuant to the Condominium Act of Grenada, which came into effect since 1978, but has not really been used. But the Housing Authority has decided, based on the construction and how they wish to dispose of these units, to use the Condominium Act. And what does that mean? The Condominium Act means that we are giving persons a freehold interest in a complex. So when you walk in and you turn your key, it is your unit.
Until you don't pay.
You don't have a landlord. You are now the owner. What is the benefit of having the condominium unit, having the condo unit, which is a freehold, as opposed to leasehold? You don't have a landlord. When you have leasehold property, you have a landlord and you operate on specific terms of the landlord. You breach those terms, you are out of that property. The condo unit is a little bit different. So if I may just go into a little detail, it is an individually owned residential unit in a complex of buildings. The condo owners own their units but share common spaces and amenities. So in that regard, you will share your common spaces, and that will be governed by the Homeowners Association.
And I think this is how we describe our government. This is a real word. It's not made up.
Okay.
It has Greek origins. It is called a kakistocracy. Google it. A kakistocracy.
Surely you're making things up now.
Google it.
I mean, I love the word, but what is the meaning?
Okay. You Google it, and you tell me the meaning.
Okay.
And tell me this does not adequately describe our government.
Now I'm typing kaki into my work computer.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy. And give me the definition.
Literally, a government by the worst people.
Yes.
A government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state. Okay, so full of the kaki people.
It's not
I
even
can't believe it's an actual word.
and it's not even an Afrikaans word you'd think where kak comes from.
Yes, Igwe.
Two things here. One, from fall coup to condominium, transformation.
Transformation.
Because they used to call it fall coup when they're in opposition. They're in government now, condominium. Secondly, Devon. We at Real FM, including you, when you used to call, when you used to think, we said that we find out what happened to the revolution which you are part of. And one of the engine room of the revolution indicated that youthful arrogance, inexperience, and lack of institutional knowledge is a recipe for failure. We say that, you know. We associated all of these attributes to the National Democratic Congress. People say, oh, are they wishing them bad? Give them time. But if you give them time, they're killing everybody and done it.
Killing everybody.
Killing them all and done.
There were noise 5 minutes to go, so
well, yes,
do your closing, sir.
Right. And as I close, I want to direct a comment to the chairman of the Housing Authority. When he made the statement about why our government is depending on another government to build houses for its people. What utter garbage you're talking about, Mr. Chairman? Right? What garbage you're talking about? It was a gift. It was a gift by another country who could have afforded it. And this gift was given to our country at a time of need. We had just experienced 2 major hurricanes. We lost over 80% of our housing stock. The government, in its wisdom, at the time led by Dr. Mitchell, went to the Chinese and asked for the donation, the gift for its people. And now you come in talking of that crap, right? About, oh, why a government should wait on another government to build houses for you. You see, sometimes I wonder where you guys was, you know, right? All it was in a hole, all you crawl out from places and they know nothing. Stop that bull, because you don't make it any sense. A gift was given to the people, and I'm sure if somebody, your friend or whoever in America, call you and tell you, let me give you $10,000, let me see if you will stop it, or you go tell them, no, I don't want it. I mean, come on, you need to have some sense. Mr. Teleson, I don't know what kind of person you take and make chairman of the Housing Authority. You better do better than that, and you better come and apologize to the people and talking about which government will wait until. Come on, man. Anyhow, it's been a pleasure being on the program, and so as we share information.
So here is there, and before I go, the kidnapping is frightening. Mr. Lacret, you have some work to do, else give back the people their money and go.
Big time.
The housing people are doing an injustice to the people, because not only NNP people are talking, your own people vex. But there on Tuesday of this week, it's also a parliament. And with this parliament, one of the bills, as I heard, is to deal with fees for lawyers.
Wow.
I think the fees is presently at $1,000. So I think the Prime Minister, in his wisdom or lack thereof, the bill saying that they categorize how much years you're practicing, and the most is $750. So a lawyer who, with one stroke of a pen, could make thousands, they're breaking down the fee for him. But the little barber, the little hairdresser, no, I don't play music yet, I want them here. Because these are the people that I vote for them. The little barber, the little hairdresser, the little nail tech. They give out time, they promise, they attach jail to it, fine to it, if all don't comply. But the lawyers and them could make money, they breaking down the fee. So when we say these people don't care about poor people, and when we speak out the poor and vulnerable, they just vex, because they know what the intention they have for the poor and vulnerable. So the allied health workers, my heart goes out to you guys, and I think the deadline for all the thing coming up. But the easy not be lawyers, so when all the representatives pass by, I tell them he's all up too. Folks, it was a blessing today. Take care and be safe.
Peace out.
Right.